This thing be doing. It always love to do whatever it want to do. I guess like anybody, huh? All right. So apparently, 19 keys. And you want the 19 keys on there. I'm talking. I'm on live. I'm on live. Um, yeah, they ain't that want the 19
I believe there's
keys on
something
there.
going on down there that potentially
Nah,
could be
Dan.
sinister, or it could be.
Politics is a cult,
Yeah.
All right, there we
right?
go.
But these cults have always been. They've worshipped leaders
Now I
throughout
can play the
time.
game.
When I go down to the voting line every 4 years, I don't vote for any president. I vote for
You believe Jesus was an alien?
Where?
Yahweh is Enlil from the Sumerian tablets. Same person.
The word Anunnaki, referring to the offspring of the bloodline of the gods.
We are all descendants of this bloodline that engaged mankind thousands of years ago. You discover that Hitler was
right.
obsessed with ancient technology.
Yeah.
Yep.
He sent his Nazis all over the world looking.
Yeah.
Tibet. They went to the end of the earth looking for.
The world is at this point where we don't really want the truth. We want a version of it that is comfortable enough.
There is no universal limit. It's unlimited. We're proving that by our actions and continuing to work and press on to bring people the information. That's how we literally.
All right, here we go.
One mind reprogrammed at a time.
Fix the cracks in the glass. Oh, we lost that. What is that? Oh my gosh! It didn't get me. Oh, that thing catch me. This game whack. Hold on. Hold on, Dan. I'm coming back. I'm gonna join back in the party. Hold on, Dan. I'm coming back. I'm gonna join back in the party.
Peace, family. Welcome back to another high-level conversation. If you've been a fan of this show, then you already know the esteemed guest that we have on today. This is probably part 4 of us having conversations here on High Level.
Hey, let's go to what's the name,
I've been
Ella?
thinking about what exactly I want to have a
Yeah,
conversation
let's go to
about.
Brookhaven.
It's not worth anything if it's redundant. It has to be advancing. It has to be progressive.
All right.
But then there's so much knowledge and so many different subjects. I realize we really haven't talked about anything. Even if we spend 100 hours conversing, there's still more depth. There's still more layers. There's more nuance, more perspective, more philosophy, more ideology, more mysteries about the
Yeah, the
universe,
game. That game was just
human
stupid.
mind, soul, and spirit that we just don't know. And when it comes to high level conversations,
Let's
it's
go to
like
school in Brookhaven.
what's been on my mind lately is the cosmic reality and the cosmic observer. I've been studying a lot just how ancient civilizations, thinkers, philosophers
I see you.
would correlate themselves with solar cycles or moon cycles or cosmic cycles, and how modern man has lost that observation of self in the sense of how the sun, moon, and star affects them, or what age are we actually living
Where
in.
your house at?
And when you go and you draw back, whether it's the ancient Anunnakians or Sumer, or you're looking at Cosmos in Russia, there was always these conversations about the
All right,
evolution
I'm
of
gonna ride with
society,
you.
the immortality of society, but also how cosmic bodies affected us and how that has shifted on human behavior. And when I look at those old philosophies and I look at where we are in modern day, they were spot on as far as
Okay.
looking at how solar activity affects human beings. Now we're in what we call a solar cycle 25, right? Where you have high solar cycles and low solar cycles, to where the sun emits, a larger amount of sunspots and sun flares towards the earth, right? And there was a correlation in the philosophy that was breaking down how human physiology
Oh.
is directly directly
Cool.
affected by what happens in the cosmos. Now, what I want to talk to Billy Carson about today
Oh,
is
I'm gonna park your
some
car.
of the ancient philosophies around the cosmos and how human bodies are connected to cosmic bodies. Now, there's a lot more subjects that he don't know we about to go into as well, but I believe he's the right person for this job. I don't have to prepare him, no prep work, don't tell him what's about to come,
Good
but I
job. Good
know he
job.
has a
What we
lot of
doing up
knowledge
in
in his
here?
mind that can add some interesting thought to this subject. And so I want you all to think about
I'm staying.
when we are in time. What cycle are we in? And how we've lost our connection. We may look at our watches, we may think about our jobs, we may think about our financial cycles, but when it comes to the cosmic cycles, the cosmic observers are all lost
It
in
kicked me out.
consciousness
Oh,
and understanding his place in the universe. So therefore, we don't really know what we're doing.
man, I'm about to go
Now, when
get
you
me some
understand the
stuff.
age that you're living in and the time that you're living in, you know exactly what to do for this time. You understand why certain empires must fall. You understand why societies go through shift. You understand why the female consciousness is being raised on the planet Earth. You understand why certain science and technological advancements start to happen. Why people start to seek immortality and
What you
destroy
say?
a lot of the things that have been constructed by man as far as his institutions.
No.
Because it's the natural
I'm
order of
playing
operations as far as how
ooh,
consciousness
on
is
my
affected by the
PlayStation.
cosmos. That's our topic for today, Mr. Billy Carson.
Hey, I'm ready, man. That's a great topic.
How you feeling?
Hey, phenomenal, man.
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
I feel like I don't have to get accolades because the people already know.
Nah,
Where you're
I don't
coming
like this
from,
car.
what countries you
Get
live
out
in,
there.
you've been all around the world, right? Literally, everywhere you go, you see Billy Carson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you've done something phenomenal and I believe the reason that you've done so phenomenal is because you're prepared for the time that we're in, right? I was looking up the root word of religion and goes to religio, and it was specifically at the time it was talking about man's connection with the divine, right? So when a lot of people say they're not religious, it's not actually true, right? It's a misuse of the word based on how you connotate a feeling towards it. But religion is just man explaining his connection to the divine. So even by saying you're spiritual, right? That's a religion itself. But when we talk about the cosmic observer, I want to kind of get into how the ancient civilizations observed themselves, right, in effect to the cosmos.
Yeah. Ancient civilizations really saw themselves as a reflection of what happened in the sky.
Mm.
And that's what they revered what they saw in the sky, right? The
All right, where you
rise
live
of the
at?
sun and the descent of the sun as it went down into this region called, some of the ancients called it Jilbaba, the underworld.
Mm.
And they began to correlate themselves in these corporeal, temporal bodies as being directly connected and affected by what happens in the sky. And so, as they
I
began to
don't know.
make
I
these
never looked.
observations, we see the Dogon tribe, for example, in Mali, Africa, who originally, they used to be the original inhabitants of the land of Kemet,
Hey,
long before the dynastic era even began. Eventually, they ended up getting pushed out into Mali, but even during the land of
I
Kemet, the
see.
time of ancient Kemet, they had the knowledge of star systems in the sky, the Sirius A, B, and C trinary star system. Now, they claim that they were given knowledge about this from Nomo, from these advanced people named Nomo that gave them the knowledge of these star systems. But not only that, they gave them specific instructions on specific star alignments, when to plant their crops, when to have their harvest,
Mm.
when to have celebrations, when to for the women to start giving birth. All these cycles and celebrations and all these, I guess these traditions were all based on specific star alignments.
Mm.
And it was amazing that they can do this because
Oh, never
you
mind. I
really
leave my
can't
car out front.
observe these stars, some of them with the naked eye. For example, Sirius B is a white dwarf. You can't see it with the naked eye, but they knew it was there, they knew it was orbital period, and they knew when it was in a specific orbit that they would have some of these particular rituals. They have this one ritual called the Sigi, and during the Sigi, they would have these ritualistic dances with these masks, all symbolizing a lot of these ancient traditions. You go further
Hmm.
back, also going to the ancient Sumerians, the Assyrians and the Babylonians, they all revered the sky. They understood the sky in a way that we are just now understanding today and how it affected them and how it affects civilization. They were
Let's
tied
go
into
drive around.
understanding the path to Orion and the path through the Orion
Come on,
to
ride with your
get
dad.
to the Pleiades. They call the Pleiades Mulmul. Mul, and they revered Mumu. And according to this, there are specific alignments that happen in that region of the sky that also control what happens here on Earth. If you when you read the text about it, it's almost like a butterfly effect. What happens there affects what happens here, and what happens here affects what happens there. And then in some way, spiritually, they felt like they were connected energetically and spiritually to the Pleiadian star system. And a lot of that information from that text made it into biblical text, as it's talked about in the Bible. It's talked about in other religious texts as well. But the thing that's amazing about it is it is
Hey,
444 light years away from Earth, exactly. And this
yeah,
444 symbol, which represents, for
that's
them in
cool.
ancient times, it represented revolution. And so at the time that there's a particular alignment with the Pleiades, with Earth, there's this revolutionary mindset that always seems to crop up. It has a direct effect on us. It's part of the cycle of
Hold on.
revolution. And this alignment is coming into play right now as we're heading into the age of Aquarius. This alignment's about to happen again. And what do we see going on around the planet? We see a lot of revolution. We see a lot of people around the world beginning to wake up and begin to ask more questions and begin to look for more solutions and begin to stop playing the status quo game. They kind of want to get out of the game. They want to
That's
break
cool
the
back there.
cycle that we're in terms of people putting a boot on our neck, and try to actually create a new system. This is where you have DeFi and crypto and all these other new things starting to crop up, right? People want to get out of it, but that's the cycle that we're heading into right now. This cycle that's directly attached to the Pleiadian star system. Also, if you look at astrology, okay, in astrology, when I first heard about astrology when I was much younger, I kind of thought it was kind
Hold
of
on.
woo-woo and didn't really make any sense. But then as I got older, I started reading some of these astrology texts that had to do with me,
Yeah.
and I started seeing a lot of correlations there. I was like, this is crazy because this is really something I can relate to. So I said, what is the science behind this astrology? And I really dug deep. And what it took me to was understanding that they took tadpoles into space in low Earth orbit, and they watched these tadpoles develop under zero gravity conditions. Then they also watched these same tadpoles develop, of course, under Earth gravity conditions and under specific planetary alignment conditions. And when they did this, it affected the development of the embryo. So if you can understand those gravitational fields can affect the development of an
Let's
embryo
get in
and
my
the
car.
characteristics of that entity or that being, then of course I had to correlate that to the human being and say, if you're born on a specific day under a specific star alignment, it's quite possible that those gravitational fields are having a direct energetic effect on the development of every cell in your body, the way your mitochondria works, the way your cell biology works, the way your genes are activated and not activated. It's all based on these fields. And those fields, in my opinion now, through a developmental process of the embryonic cycle, help to create your personality traits that you were born with. So a lot of the traits that people are born with, so of course some are through epigenetics and some are just through what you learn as you get programmed as a young child, but a portion of them are due to the fields that you gravitationally grew up under or you were in gestation, during the gestation process. Those gestation process periods, those fields had a direct effect. So we see this correlation between the sky and Earth. Is that if you look at our solar system, where it is in the Milky Way galaxy, it's actually on this gigantic accretion disk that's orbiting a supermassive black hole. Now, our solar system undulates up and down, millions and millions of light years up and down as it goes around the Milky Way. And as it's doing that, it's going up towards the galactic equator and passing it above it and rising below it. Right now, we're exactly at the galactic equator. What does that mean? The supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy is emitting super high charged particles that are streaming at us at the speed of light. These particles are actually penetrating our bodies and going into our DNA and altering our DNA and genetic code as we sit here. So we see this cycle that happens, right, every so many thousands
I
of
just been
years,
driving.
that all of a sudden now our DNA is being altered by what's happening in space, which is creating what? A whole new man. So we're going through this cycle, this Yuga cycle, this Kali Yuga cycle, and right now I think that we're in the Tetra Yuga, which is right now we can call it in layman's terms the Silver Age, the beginning of the Silver Age, as we're heading back toward the
Okay.
Golden Age. We're probably about 10 to 12,000 years away from a true Golden Age star.
Hold on. This is not dairy? How is it so creamy?
Whoa!
So creamy.
I know which way.
All right. So you just hit a home run. So
Hold on, yeah.
man is jailed on earth in his thinking, in the way that we're governed,
Yeah.
right? Ancient civilizations, they were governed with cosmic mathematics, divine mathematics, right? And so with that thinking of understanding that, okay, well, this is the age that we are in based on cosmic alignment, then certain things as far as the rulers of that period in time would make sure that they would do things that was in
Other
line
way.
with that. But we live in a world of chaos, where the philosophies that run over this world is not based on cosmic politics, right? It's based on capitalism, right? And capitalism creates this cosmic slavery because now you cannot be free, right? In the sense that you can live in alignment with the age that we're in because you have to live accordingly to making a living, right? Not actually living.
Yeah.
And so when I think about this cosmically, there was a philosophy about biocosmos, and it was essentially talking about, you know, human beings having a relationship outside of Earth, being able to travel to other planets and populate them as well. But then it also goes into the thinking of how we're all different, right, based on our biology, right, in the sense that if you think everybody is equal, right,
Yeah, you drive.
then you
Look at
would
that
have
car.
to start looking at, okay, what measurement of equal are we going by? Because we're not in the infinite life because some of us live longer than others, right? And so if the ruling class live longer than the poor class, then there's not even life equality, right? And now we're getting to the age of immortality to where the wealthy class want to live forever, right? So is it quality of life? Is it quantity of life? How many days you actually get on this planet or how many quality days you get on this planet, right? And so to ease the mind and for one to be in flow, you have this generation that are stark deconstructionists, but they don't know how to reconstruct. And you don't have to reconstruct in the sense that you have to come up with it yourself. You just have to understand what divine body that we're under and what time that we're in, right? And so during this period, yes, you can't fight technology because the ship of innovation is the disruption of the creative. The creative comes to disrupt, right? Things are not supposed to be the same. Everybody is not always allowed to innovate. You can't just come up with things and push them to society because it will disrupt everything,
Yeah.
right? And to this day, it's similar to that the way that companies create monopolies. But I want to get into a little bit of philosophy and your ideas about, you know, thinking about what philosophies should govern the current reality of humanity. Because we're in this age where we're fighting, though. Communism, Marxism, you know what I'm saying? Capitalism, socialism. Like, and we don't have the intellect at the forefront of the discussion to guide humanity. We got identity politics at the forefront, right? Individuals trying to hold on to something because they feel lost, and so they pick their identity, and then that becomes a way for the ruling class to divide people so that they never focus at the top. But what philosophies, if we're thinking about the ruling of the future, or some of your own personal, if you would like to share, or some that you've read that you believe
I'm
are
gonna
the
go lay
highest
down in the
ones,
bed. In your
what should
bed.
be the philosophies of the future that are worth fighting and living for?
Yeah. There's a philosophy that I've studied. It actually comes from ancient texts, and it's not just from one text. It's across various texts
Yeah.
through the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, the Indian Vedas, the Sumerian tablets, and specifically in the Epic of Atrahasis, the Code of Hammurabi, uh, the Tablet of Etana, and it started bringing me to this understanding of what really went on in ancient times and how certain ones were able to rise up above all of that. And what I noticed in every single one of those occurrences, the people that rose up all proclaimed themselves to be their own king, their own ruler. So, for example, when I go down to the voting line every 4 years, I don't vote for any president. I vote for myself. I take the blank ballot and I write my name on it and I put that in the box. That became my philosophy because what I'm doing is I'm taking a stand to myself and to the world and to my family, and I'm saying I am the president. I'm the president of my life and my family's life, and I'm going to operate as such. Imagine if we all took that philosophy where all of us took on the role of becoming our own president and putting into place mentally, physically, and spiritually those aspects that we feel a president should have. Taking care of the community, looking after your family, protecting the women, making sure your community is clean, putting programs in place to help the youth, and so forth and so on. If we all took on that mindset and then acted on it, and every one of us had that same mentality, then we would realize there really truly is no need for a president because all of us would be doing the work that needs to be done, and we would be collaborating. There wouldn't be competition, there would be collaboration. Right now, the current system has us stuck in a cycle of consumption and competition with no collaboration. But switching into the philosophy of mindset of becoming your own president and collaboration, all of a sudden the world will transform and change overnight.
That gets me thinking of a conversation I was having with the Dr. Sirius about the
Yeah,
idea
did y'all
that
leave me?
utopias are always spoken about as the next generation inheritance, right? That there's going to be a generation that's going to live a utopian life.
Girl, wait until you see this shade.
Unreal. It's a perfect match for you. I have to blend 3 shades together.
Mom, what's rockin' even living under? Undertones are key, and House Labs is so right for you.
Only at Sephora.
Did you leave this game?
I hear so many times that we've told.
How do I lay in your? I want to lay in the bed.
Is going to be the next generation inheritance. But the goal is to make utopia, right, the reality while we live.
Let me see.
Why is it always projected on
There we go.
descendants?
I'm asleep.
Because there was an ancestor that was projecting that this generation will be living in a utopia. And yes, it's radical. That's the most radical revolution that we need. A total overhaul of this devil's world and creating our own utopia now, not later. And then you would then take that same philosophy and say, no, why isn't it the inheritance of now?
Now,
Right? Why? Because we're like 100 generations from 1,000 generations from the first philosopher to say that, and every so and so there's somebody to say there's one time it's going to be, but it takes generations for that to happen. But now it's supposed to be we're saying that no, this is our age. We're not waiting till we die for the best part of living to happen, right? For the best part to be on earth to happen. So then that will require the sort of mindset that you're speaking on, to where a person decides to govern their mind, right, and to govern their money, right, which is what the government is for, mind and money, and preside over our own affairs, right? When we look at the way campaigns are structured, they elect leaders. If you want to elect leaders to help with the affairs, right, of governing humanity, we can do such. It doesn't have to be in a government body that doesn't
I'm asleep.
add in the
My
spiritual
Roblox
aspect to
character
the world,
sleep.
right? Which is why they're so devoid of anything of life, because spirit is breath, and they're not created for life. Matter of fact, we can capitalize off death if they need to. But in the sense of the utopia, it's saying that, all right, how do we create a utopia now? Like, if that's the project for humanity, creating a utopia now. We got 10 years to create a utopia on Earth, right? Because what will end up happening is all of the predictions and philosophies of the ancient age, we end up living through. But what are the philosophies and predictions that say that our current time will be a utopia before we die? Now, the thing about it is, if we don't spread the ideas, then the reality won't be manifested, right? Which is the purpose of this conversation, is that these are the ideas that should now be built upon, because evolution is not based upon some theory of monkey to man. It's about mind to mind, how we evolve upon ideas, right? So that we don't have to start all the way over from a point of ignorance. And how we inherit ideas, because we already have knowledge within the DNA activated. But the law of relevancy, it says that, what you recently learned is what's at the forefront of your head, but it's the same thing that happens in your family. What's recently in your DNA is what you can activate the most, right? We call those gifts and talents. So for this generation, it's their job to deposit as much knowledge and philosophies about the world that they want to live and become as much of the person of the type of future that they want to see, right, into reality. And if we create a planetary shift of people doing that, the next generation will force to be a different people because that's what's in them. The overriding of that the toxins inside their DNA that we inherited, the breaking of the curses. Has there ever been a time in history where there was such radical change where the people went through a vast enlightenment age and created a utopia?
Yeah, there's been several. I mean, you hit it right on the head too, man, with what you just said. If you go all the way back, you're going back now, potentially almost a million years. We're talking about Lemuria, an island off the coast of Australia that had people on it. Now, these people is not stated as to where these people came from or how they got here, but the Aboriginals that I sat down with in Australia, the Aboriginal elders, when I went for a walkabout in 2020, right before the whole thing collapsed, right, the global sickness, they told me that Lemuria was an incredible island city.
No.
Had people there that had telekinesis, psychic abilities, full use of all their mental capacity, high level of spirituality. They had technology, but the technology was actually combined with the spirituality.
Wow, I was trying to
they
plug
worked
up too.
together, not against each other. And at some point, they had a long-lasting golden
what are you
age,
trying to plug
and
up?
then the fall settled in, and eventually it began to fall and collapse, and eventually even the whole island supposedly sunk. They were kind of alluding to potentially an attack, but they couldn't say it was because they don't have any raw information about it. But their verbal handed down history for thousands of years is there was a force of action that created the collapse of Lemuria. And then we go over to the land of ancient Kemet. Kemet existed in the golden age for a very long time. They had achieved such a high level of technology in that civilization that people.
What else you got plugged in? The keyboard and what?
Focusing on arts and crafts, and seeking their inner selves and travel, going around the world, not just going around the region, literally traveling around the
Shut the
world,
garage.
and having a great life experience. They didn't even have a military or police force. And that eventually was their downfall, was that some people came and said, hey, wait a minute, these people, they just over here smelling roses, man. Let's take it. And that's how they got taken the first time. And it was unfortunate. Egypt, ancient Kemet, has also been several times in history documented. So people say, well, how come all the races are different colors? Well, it's because they were overthrown different times. But every time they achieve this level of golden age, it's like crime. Even the Dogon tribe that was the original inhabitants of the land of Kem, which are now in Mali, no police force, no military, zero crime, 100% peace. Still to this very day. We're talking about this ancient mindset.
I'm laying in the bed at Ella House.
How to live in peace and harmony with the earth, with yourself, and with others.
Oh, bring me my coffee out off the counter.
How to achieve this tranquility which existed. The Mayans also had existed through a golden age. Really, it wasn't really the Mayans, to be honest with you. It was the Teotihuacans who existed during the golden age prior to the Mayans. And who were the Teotihuacans? Thoth, the Atlantean, according to the ancient Egyptians, ruled over the land of Kemet for 16,000 years, one man. He was getting in fights with his brother Marduk. Marduk is known in the Jewish American Library. He's in the Torah, the Talmud, and he's also in the Bible. Marduk, he's known as Amun-Ra in ancient texts. He was getting head-to-head battles with his own brother. And his father said, go to the other side of the planet, man, and start a new civilization over here. Let me deal with him. So he left and took Olmecs with him to Mesoamerica. And he built, which is now South America and Mexico, he built this entire civilization over there, which the Mayans call the Teotihuacans. And Teotihuacan is, when you convert the words, it's actually the city of Tahuti. And we know that Thoth was known as Tahuti in Africa. So it became the city of Tahuti. He achieved the golden age over there. And the synchronicity of the connection between the two civilizations, the Great Pyramid and the complex at Giza Plateau in Africa, is the same exact copy as the Teotihuacan 3 pyramids out of Mexico City. Both are aligned with the Orion. The Great Pyramid base and the Pyramid of the Sun base are exactly the same size. And the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan is exactly 50% the height of the Great Pyramid located in Egypt. So we see that there's one master architect. They both built on top of aquifers. There's the exact same, building technique. The blueprint's the same, basically. The uses are the same as well. The shafts are aligned with star systems and everything else. So we know for a fact that since Thoth said, build it out of Great Pyramid pattern after Earth's force, it's now he moved there, he created a civilization. They achieved a high level, and at some point, that civilization collapsed. And the Mayans say we've gone through 4 golden ages. They say we've gone through 4 worlds, and we're headed into the 5th. The 2012 was not about the end of the world, it was about the end of an age and moving into a new age, which we're headed into now at the age of Aquarius, which is coming on us in 2025.
You know, that gets me thinking about, you got ancient cities that have built up, 0% crime, let's say there's no policing, you got advanced technology, you have one spiritual system over all of the people. That gets me thinking about cities like Dubai, right? To where you have essentially those type of cities being built up now in modern day. So it's like when you think about in ancient times, we really now at this point, we have an example of all those things. Yes, we do. Almost every philosophy, every technology, right? We can think about, you know, they talk about how they were editing genes of humans back in the day. Well, we got CRISPR now, right? Editing genes of human beings. You got, you know, ancient tablets with all the knowledge forward and backward of the planet Earth. Well, we have the internet now with knowledge of everything forward and backward. We have systems, right, to where it integrates the whole, where you connect all of these AIs into the Internet of Things, and now it becomes a different entity within itself. Almost every ancient idea, modern man has an example of it today.
Yep.
We're living in a time of awe, right? And so now it's like having
Who asking
a
me?
thousand civilizations at once, right? And that's
Who
what.
asked?
But in America, it's even
Was
worse
you
because
asking or
there's not
Eli?
one idea that rules over America. In all
What's
these
up, E?
ancient places, this is one ideas that ruled over. Was it diatheism? Was it monotheism? Polytheism? Right? What is it? Today, we're fighting about whether we should even have God as a concept, right? Whose God is the right one? What does it look like? Right? There's so many things in America that we're just fighting over as far as what the world should be. Because there's not a governing body over human beings, and unfortunately, we are at such an immature stage. This is what happens when human beings are thrown collectively in the pot, right? And they don't understand each other, right? And so that's why you can have golden ages, but that means that people are agreeable, people are peaceable, people understand each other, they believe in the same thing. So, you know, Tahuti's going back to thought, a city of thought,
Why is your
a
house?
city
Why
of
am I on
knowledge, a
fire?
city
What
of
the
light.
heck?
We have to have those as concepts over cities, right? You know, we got California as a state going to the goddess of Khalifa, but what does it mean?
Right.
Is it the golden age? It says the golden state, right? Right? So if these ideas have to supersede the systems that we know now of capitalism and this so-called free market, and it has to transfer over, right, into an enlightened time and say that, okay, we can build technology, but they have to be based on these ideas.
How did the
So
house
there is
catch
a
on fire?
concept about biopolitics, right? And as I was talking about earlier, but it deals with, at that particular time, the philosophers in the early 1900s in Russia was talking about how human beings can be ruled, you know, based on, you know,
I don't know.
bio
Maybe you gotta get
differences. And the
closer.
way they would do that is, whether it was eugenics, whether it was vaccines, whether it was public cleanliness and things of that nature, they'll be ruled and put into different classes based on that. So if you want to be, let's say, a dirty human being, right, and I talked to my brother Nuri Muhammad, he say, cleanliness is God, right? Living a tonic lifestyle, right? That is the godliness itself. But what if there was a time when we forced upon people clean living? You couldn't even get toxic food. You couldn't get GMO, right? We're going in a time where there's a baby bust, but there's no ideas of that where government forces that. Instead, actually the government pushes the particular opposite, right? They approve companies that sell us genetically modified food, and you would think that this was something out of we was reading out of a Sumerian magazine about ancient times. These are modern times. They are genetically enhancing your food and putting chemicals in there so that they can be preserved over time so that they can have a longer shelf life, so that during the time of going back and forth when we create these modern cities, modern man can go live his life, to go earn a living, to take money, spend it on transportation, to get to the store to buy some food that's been waiting on him. You're like, that don't sound like an efficient system.
No.
No, it's and this is my thing. No matter how great you're treated at the plantation, you still a slave.
That's right.
And there was some
Oh my
plantations,
gosh, that's
they
beautiful.
treated some slaves a little better than others. They would get a reputation.
I'm listening
And
to
if you
something.
were a slave and you were up for auction, you may be like, damn, I may want to go over to the Crawford plantation versus the KKK one, whatever,
Right.
lack of imagination in that. But it didn't matter because no matter which plantation you went to, but what it does is it lowered the standard, right, for what you would even wanted, right? So now, instead of freedom being the ultimate goal, treatment. I just want a little better treatment as a slave, not ultimately to be free, and then you start thinking you better than others.
That's right.
Oh, well, my master don't treat me like this. My master don't do this, right? So instead of wanting complete freedom, ideological freedom, freedom to speak, freedom to move, freedom to think, freedom to be, right, to move about, you just want a little liberation, just a little liberty to do things. You want to be treated. Matter of fact, you don't mind. I want to be a rich slave, right? Matter of fact, they figured it out to where we don't ever have to free the slaves. We just have to give them the illusion of freedom. And then the way you know that is because your life force will always be feeding you.
So your house gone
Right,
now?
so you can leave this plantation and go all the way across the globe. We're going to tax all your labor. We're going to tax your movement. And to break out of this system, oh, it's going to be very hard. We're going to tax you on that too. Matter of fact, when you die, we want some money off your body. When you're born, we want some money off that. When you get sick, we want some money off that. The plantation
How can I
has
get this
become
off the
global.
screen?
It has become mental and spiritual. And most people don't want freedom. They just want better treatment.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. I mean, you look at, to take a play on it, you look at, sports, pro sports. A lot of pro sports teams that play in America, they get a special tax in every state they go play in.
Yeah.
And even if their home isn't there, they got to pay a tax in that state. So they really figure out a way to give us the illusion of freedom. But at the end of the day, all of us are still slaves as long as
I don't
we're
know how to
under
get
the
this off the
system that
screen.
they put in place over us. And the crazy part about it is, the people, us as the people, we still don't realize how much power we have.
Oh,
I'm sleepy.
Living on berries?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sleepy, boy. I'm sleepy, yeah.
You know, they proved to us that the world won't end if you shut it down. When they shut it down for that
Right.
sickness, right? They shut the whole thing down. They turned it off, turned the switch off. When they canceled the NBA, I knew they were shutting it. I said, they canceled the NBA? Yeah.
yeah, that's how everybody knew. Later, LeBron ain't playing? Oh, man.
I was like, wow, that's real. But guess what? It came back on again. And so why can't we shut the world down? Us as the people.
Yeah.
Because we're too divided. Divide and conquer tactics.
I got
has
this
us going
screen
against
on
each
my.
other. You know what I'm saying? And I'm jealous of him, and I'm jealous of her, and she's doing better than me, and he's doing better, and he's this color, he's that color, he's this and he's that, and he's this politician, Democrat, Republican. It's just too much fighting. If we would see that we the people are really the ones that are in control, and these governments are actually, they work for us.
There we go.
They're supposed to be our slaves.
Right.
They're our servants, public servants. And we've been flipped into believing that we have to obey everything they tell us to do, how to do it, when to do it, or they're going to do this and this and this and that to us.
I'm sleepy
they
and
got us
walking around.
operating in fear. And that fear has a lock on us and has the population in fear of what the government would do to us.
It's about to be time to go to bed.
Instead of us saying, no, how about y'all be in fear of what we're going to do to you if you don't obey? We'll collapse the whole damn system. Imagine if 30,000 people woke up on Monday and said, we ain't going to work, we ain't paying the mortgage payment, the car payment. Matter of fact, we've been stocking up. We ain't going to buy gas or food. We're going to shut everything down, and we'll see how y'all do without us. And that includes police officers and military and everything else. But see, everybody's afraid.
Right.
What happens if I don't do that? I'm not going to get my paycheck, and I'm already paycheck to paycheck. They got him in the slave mentality. What if everybody else don't participate in this? So everybody's operating from fear. When you're operating in fear, you can be easily manipulated and twisted to do anything that they want you to do. And that's the position that we're in right now as humanity. It's slowly, the information is getting out. People are beginning to realize, yeah, let me operate in some of my power. It's a very slow and arduous process for us to really begin to wake up. But over time, enough of us will wake up. We just have to get to that number, right? There's a certain number that we will reach. Then that consciousness, that revolutionary amount will spread around the planet like a virus, and all of us will begin to see the light. and this planet's going to change for the better. Economics all over the place are going to alter, change, and evolve into something else, something that we actually want. But we have to be patient, and we have to be ready to understand that it's not always going to be, roses and blue skies. There's going to be times where it's going to look like it's getting worse, but we still have to stand strong. A baby learns how to walk by controlling its fall. Every time a baby gets to the
will.
it pulls itself up. Humanity is a baby trying to learn how to walk.
We act like
Takes a couple steps, it falls down.
tonight ain't the end of the world.
Another few steps.
We about to
The second
hop off and go to bed.
By the third time it falls, don't cry it all, just gets right back up. Eventually it learns how to control its fall, and that's what we have to be.
Well, we are inverse. We're living in an inverse simulation where everything that's our power, mostly, we keep it in the shadows, right? And we behave in an inverse manner, right? You have the guys acting like humans. You have the weak ones that are in control of the strong ones, right? And so we have taken our nature and we hid it even from ourselves. We've taken our power and we hid it from ourselves. Imagine, think of it like this. When you see the inverse reality, you will see these huge, strong men all taking orders from this small, weak, feeble-minded man. Why? Something has to be wrong in that reality. They're inverse. They don't know that they are electrical beings full of potential. They've taken the concept and image of who you are and they reversed it on how you see yourself. And I was thinking about this because you look at the Olympics. Oh man, so much magical melanin going on out there. Oh man, they flying. I seen one brother, he jumped so high, he almost flipped himself. It was different. You know, Sha'Carri Richardson out there, she's running crazy. They've been trying to stop the magic. But I was thinking about this. I say one thing about melanated people is we see our magic in real life and not on screen. So when we see it in real life, it looks like an outlier. I see a Billy Carson. Billy Carson's moving, man, in consciousness. Got a beautiful family. You know what I mean? Drive nice cars. He got a whole entire platform, right? Organized all across the planet. He has all of this knowledge, but that's an outlier.
Right.
Because I ain't never seen that on the screen. But the reverse is different for every other population of people for the most part. They have a representation of their mythos that they get to see themselves as magical. If I was to see an Asian person win in a fighting competition doing something amazing, well, I think also 1,000 times on screen. That's normal. They supposed to be like that. They the samurai warriors of the world. What are you talking about? Concentrating the hidden dragon. You feel me? That's what it's supposed to be, Bruce.
All right, y'all go ahead.
Bigger mythos than the actual reality world.
Let's finish this
That's
up.
what it is. We have an actual reality, right? But the difference is we can't change, and this is where media is so important, because young boys have to see themselves as it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they won't believe it and think that, oh, well, that's just you, but it's not me. So they can't confide in any truth. They can go in imagination. This is what I'm going to do.
All right,
But
guys.
if you're a young white child, you can look at Superman and be like, oh, man, I could be a regular dude during the day and I could be Superman.